So you want to be able to play any game that you want or do whatever the heck you want to do on stream and still have people watch. You're not alone on that. A lot of people want that, and a lot of people don't want to build a community that is just centered around one game on Twitch that people come for, and then when you get off that game, they all leave. Now, this is something that is like super romantic, something that is so like nice to hear, like, oh man, that'd be great to have. But this is a lot harder to accomplish than just playing whatever the heck you want. Let's talk about it now. My name is Nick, aka Loadedwombat, and we're gonna talk about how to grow on Twitch as a variety streamer right now. So the first thing I want to talk about is really, should you be a variety streamer? And that's like a legitimate question that you should ask yourself, because growing as a variety streamer is actually very difficult to do. It's not something that is just like easy to do. There's skills that are involved with being a variety streamer that maybe not everybody has, but kind of just something I've noticed as being a variety streamer for this long is really just a few things that if you don't have these things, you might want to reconsider or just kind of like find some ways around that challenge. One thing to realize, answer that question, is that you're going to have to work harder and longer hours on your stream. And what I mean is planning your stream and creating an environment that takes people on a journey. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but you have to spend the time to be able to do that. And so some people don't have the time to be able to do that, because a lot of times playing one game and focusing on that game and creating content around that game is a lot easier than just kind of going about different types of games or different types of things on stream. It takes more time. Another thing that you need and you should be able to have during this is improvisation. And what this does for you is you're able to adapt to any type of game or any type of thing that's going on. So something that I commonly do is I can tell like when a game is going to be very good for my chat or where it's not going to be very good for my chat. A lot of times I can tell that's going to happen. Sometimes I miss and sometimes it's whatever. But after doing it for a little bit, you start to see that, and you can learn to pivot certain things, or you can learn to get people excited about certain types of things within that game if you're already kind of sold into that game. But also, you're able to really bring up different topics of conversation, whether it's about that game or just life stuff or anything. You got to be ready to improvise when variety streaming, because the game is not carrying the entertainment. You are. Now, I would argue that even for people who play one game, the game isn't carrying the entertainment, but it does help out a lot. One last thing for variety streaming, if you're switching from playing like just one game to go into variety, if you're not ready for a viewership dip, or if you're really focused on numbers in particular, starting out in variety streaming is going to be very difficult for you. And I would just encourage you overall on Twitch to really try to get out of that mindset, because it's horrible for your mental health. It's something that drives all your decisions based on like choosing things based off viewership and stuff like that, and you're not doing things you enjoy, but I mean, that matters, right? But also you're not really entertaining because you're very timid to try different things and you're afraid to fail. So I would try to get out of that mindset. And if you're stuck in that mindset and you're like all about number, variety streaming probably isn't for you, especially at the beginning. So now that we've covered some of those areas of, variety streaming and should you be a variety streamer, and maybe shown you some of maybe the darker sides of being a variety streamer, let's kind of go into talk about like how you can grow as one and how you can do that. And me personally, I am a variety streamer, and so these are some of the tactics that I've used, and it's not limited to these things, but hopefully they can help you out. Number 2 within all of our topics out here is plan games for viewership. Now, this is something that some people do and some people don't. I'm actually somebody who doesn't do this. I just don't plan a lot of the things that I do on my streams based on like, oh man, this is going to get me a lot of viewers, this is going to give me whatever. It's more based on the idea that this is going to be entertaining to the viewer, and this is going to be able to grab a lot of engagement from the viewer. So for me, I just don't plan this way, but some people, what they do is they browse Twitch, they'll look at some games that are kind of in that like middle ground area where there's a lot of viewers for the game, but they're spread out across quite a few different channels. So it's not just one channel holding all the viewership and there's no other channels getting any viewership, that kind of stuff. It's multiple channels getting multiple viewers, and so hopefully the viewers are kind of going between different channels there. This happens for me a lot with games, but it's not something I plan. So for me, I've realized that when I play a lot of survival games, which I really enjoy survival games a lot. So when I play games like Green Hell or The Forest or those types of games, sometimes you get that community that is so passionate about that game coming in and wanted to talk about it or wanted to go through it with you or see you experience it for the first time, that kind of stuff. It's actually a really special experience, because if those people are interested in other games like that, maybe you'll play another game like that, or maybe they'll talk to you about a game that you don't even know about and that you're going to fall in love with. So that's happened with me, and that's something that I've really enjoyed and actually has been really helpful for my viewership, because it's kind of a warm lead into somebody's world, right? They're going to find you because they really enjoy that game, and you're going to be playing that game for a bit, and so they're ready to follow. So you can plan your games based on viewership. I would say make sure it's just games you enjoy as well, because you don't want to get into a game and you just hate it, and then you find yourself back in that space where you're just picking games because it gets you viewers. And for me, that's just not how I envision streaming. That's not how I want to do things. Maybe there's certain games that get more viewers and maybe you'll jump to those or something, but I just try not to really make my decisions based on that. The third tip I have for you guys is just chatting. I think you should really start to utilize different portions of your stream for just chatting. This doesn't mean just sitting there reading chat, because a lot of times some of our smaller streamers, there's not really constant chat, or there's not really a time that we can do that, and that's okay. There's different ways to do just chatting. I actually have another video on this, and I'll put that up in the cards above here, just about how to grow in the category of just chatting and some different ideas and stuff like that. But really, I want you to start to think about yourself as a broadcaster, not a streamer. So a broadcaster is somebody who does like radio, or somebody who does podcasts, those types of things. People want to hear from you. And with the model of being a variety streamer, the game isn't the entertainment or the pull for the viewer. You are, or the community that you create. So utilize these just chatting portions to really connect with your viewers for one, but also plan some things and exercise your creativity to do different bits or different like types of games or whatever it is for this moment. You'll see your chat interaction go up, and I think you'll see your overall connection with your viewers go up. Even if it's not like your viewer count number skyrocketing to the moon, you're starting to build a really strong foundation of viewers who are going to want to watch you for a long time. The fourth tip I have for you is take the viewer on a journey. And what I mean by this is every stream should be planned in a way where you're taking your viewer from point A to point Z, from beginning to end, that if they stayed for the whole thing, they would be entertained throughout the whole thing. And like I said at the beginning of the video, it takes time to plan these. I've started planning my streams consistently on the weekends, and I probably spend around like 5 hours planning and brainstorming and kind of going through that process of planning out my week and trying to really get those things down. And I fail a lot, but what's cool about that is like every time I'm failing, I'm learning more and more how to entertain for a longer portion. So my streams are 5 hours, so I start to plan those babies out with tons of different like bits or tons of different stuff. And you're gonna want to spend time planning your streams, which sounds crazy on Twitch because you see a lot of people just hit go live and go, and maybe they get thousands of viewers and all that kind of stuff. It's not really that way anymore. But this is also going to prepare you for when we look at other social medias in a second here, okay? There's no rules. Obviously, don't do anything stupid and get yourself banned and like break TOS or whatever. But just know that like sometimes people feel like they need to be fitting into a certain sandbox or fitting into a certain like, you know, shape or whatever it is, you know, whatever analogy you want to use. They're trying to fit the mold that has been created on Twitch. And the way that you're going to really get people to stop by and say, wow, you should have more viewers, and I'm going to tell two of my friends about you, kind of a thing. The way that you do that is you really go against the grain and you do something big and you do something different. Just remember, there's not any rules to how you have to do this or how you have to be variety. It's really your place to create your world. And the last part of this take viewer on the journey is don't be afraid to fail. That's something that a lot of people are scared of. They're scared of low viewer counts. They're scared of people seeing them at low viewer counts. They're scared of, oh my gosh, my numbers are going down. Once you set your vision in motion, now it's your job to hit that out of the park at all times. Now, I want to warn you that when you switch over to variety streaming, if you haven't already, a lot of times you see a dip in viewership because you're changing your whole model on stream, and people sometimes aren't really down with change. But what you're going to do is build a very, very strong community going forward that, you know, maybe you dip down, but you're going to see a dip going up and skyrocketing in a huge way. So a big streamer who saw this was actually XQC when he first moved from like primarily Overwatch and went into variety. He actually did see a dip when he like left Overwatch League and all that kind of stuff. But then now he's one of the biggest streamers ever, and he can pretty much play whatever the heck he wants, right? And that's really what it comes down to, is he set a vision in his mind what he wanted his stream to be, and he kept hitting that out of the park every single stream, or at least trying to do so. Confidence is a big player in this, and making sure that you're confident in what you're creating, because people will come in and you'll be playing a random game that they don't know about, and they'll say, oh man, this is a dumb game, and it kind of hits your heart and it breaks you down a little bit. But just remember that you're really there because we're creating an avenue that the viewer doesn't even know about yet. And so of course they're not going to be down for it when you first go for it, you know? You got to really sell them on this vision that you're creating, or sell them on the particular game you're playing, and create a space that you can do that. The fifth tip that I have for you guys today, and the last tip, is plan streams around clickable titles. This is something that I've stolen from Ludwig, and it's something that I've been doing consistently now for a bit. and it has helped me out so much. What I've done is I've started to plan my streams just around that. So I think on Monday I'm playing Valorant with acrylic nails on. It's just like a really dumb idea that my wife and I came up with, and it's just a really good title. So I'm able to say playing Valorant with acrylic nails, you know, I don't know, something like that, some title like that. And it's going to be something that people see and they're like, wait, what? Why? Like, that's so weird. And if I deliver on that entertainment, then that's something that's actually really cool, and it could be a really cool memorable moment for the stream, but also bring some new people in. Also, that activates people who have followed me in the past and have never, you know, came back or whatever it is. If they see like some guys playing Valorant with acrylic nails on, that's kind of funny because I'm not going to be used to hitting the keys. You know, it's going to get in the way and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's like something that you can do. Now, when you create things that are centered around clickable titles, you're also able to take those things and put them and edit them or get them edited and put them onto other social medias. So what that does for you is now you're creating a funnel based off of the things that you're doing on stream. And that's where your viewers are going to start to come in, because what you need to do to create that funnel is post on other social medias so that people know about you and where you're at. Live streaming in general is not a very discoverable thing. It's more centered around the idea of bringing an audience to a place to hang out and be on live stream and create something different. Now, there is times where you will become searchable, whether like you get a shout out from somebody or, you know, just recommended is working out for you that day or whatever it is, but it's not something to bank on. It's something that you want to start to create this idea, because Twitch is a revolving door. One person leaves, you need to have 2 people coming in, and then 3 people, and then 4 people, and then 5 people. So then that creates this like snowball effect of people checking out your stream consistently, even when there's maybe 1 or 2 leaving, maybe they don't like the game, whatever it is. Yeah, and that's a really cool opportunity. Now, you know, you have your regulars and the foundation of your community that is so special, and hold that dear to your heart as, you know, people who have really given their time to you, and make sure you take care of them as well. It's not about just, oh, we've got to bring as many people in. Make sure you're taking care of the individuals as well. But overall, that's what you have to do to grow. If you're not using those other social medias and you're wondering why you're not growing, that's the reason. People will not magically show up in your stream. Now, I do have actually a bonus tip, everybody. I know, bonus tip, yay, bonus tip. And that is actually Xbox Game Pass. This is not something that's sponsored. Like, I'm not sponsored by Xbox Game Pass, although I wish I was. But this is something that has saved my entire life when it comes to variety streaming, and the cost of variety streaming can be big because you're buying new games, you're trying different stuff, you're doing all these types of things, and it's not really easy to be able to spend the money. But Xbox Game Pass has really saved my life because it's got so many different games that you can just kind of dive into, and they're adding so many more games coming up. So I would definitely suggest you checking out Xbox Game Pass if you're really trying to play some different types of games and try some different things. It's definitely a great place to start, at least. Well, hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions or want to discuss some of these topics, I'm live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Twitch. And I would love to hear about some of the games that you guys are coming from to go over to variety streaming or considering going over to variety streaming. I would just love to hear about that in the comments. So if you guys want to do that down below, that'd be awesome. And this is a small channel, so please, if you could like, subscribe, help this video out, that would mean the world. So thank you so much for your time. We'll catch you on the flip side, mother truckers. Bye.